Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Late Night Live, and tonight we have an interesting subject. Normally when I sort of see things about Amazon on YouTube, it's normally someone trying to sell me a course or something like that. But we do have the wonderful Faye and Simon in. How are you, Faye and Simon? You all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. You?
Hi, are we good?
You're coping in this hot weather?
Yeah. We're upstairs where we don't usually hang out, and it's a bit warm up here. So
yeah,
hopefully we won't melt.
Heat rises. Yeah, we've got Derek in. How you doing, Derek? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I was saying, like, when it's hot, I complain, and when it's not hot, I complain as well.
Yeah,
it's the English way. We just like to moan about anything.
I must be English, yeah. And we've got Nick. How you doing, Nick? You all right?
Yeah, good. I'm loving Ashley's comment there. It's like a hearsay reunion 30 years on. I don't know if that's a compliment or what, but I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, hearsay.
Not sure.
Was that at Pop the Right? No, it was Pop Idol, wasn't it? Or
yeah, I think so. One of them.
I do remember being very drunk and singing hearsay. That pure and simple.
Wow.
Want to be there. There you go. Right, let's go through the chat. We've got Rich by name. It'll be a classic one day. Rich by name, not by nature. How you doing? Antoinette's in. And Jane Brown. Ali Evans is in. Good to see you, Ali. Once Love Treasures. Keith M. Now, is this SI or is it Psy? I'll go SI.
Or C.
It's not allowed to be Psy.
Could be C.
C, who knows? We've got Lee, Fix It for Reselling, and I'm actually, Lee, I'm just about to fix one of these. I wasn't going to do it, but I've gone and ordered the kit to mend that, so I'm going to have all sorts of frustrations coming up mending that. I don't think.
Is it the speaker issue? Isn't it a common speaker issue with those? Is that the one? Or?
It's you have to replace about 20 capacitors, and it's on the power board, the speaker board, and the main board. It's a game. It's a game gear. It's a Sega game gear. So, if I sold it like that, it'd probably be about 40 quid. If I can mend it, it might be 80, 90 maybe. Kind of
I saw one at the car boot last week, but I didn't bother about it.
Yeah, I can see myself getting very frustrated with that. I got Richard in. Chop, chop, busy, busy, bang. Work, work, bang, bang. John Glaze. Good to see you, John. Cinema Music. Mandy's in. Really loved retro. See if I can get to that. Yes, we're at the bottom now. There we go. So, send it to me when I break it. Yeah, that could well happen. So normally
there's still a weird echo. Can anyone else
hear? There's a bit of an echo.
I can hear one. Yeah.
I'll hunt down the echo. I'm going to mute everyone one by one. Is it still there?
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, it might be coming from Faye and Simon then. Are your speakers anywhere near your mic?
They're quite far, but I'm just going to switch it. So bear with me.
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh,
that was the wrong button.
Whoops.
We had a guest once or
what
two.
What have I done? What have I done there?
No, they were trying to switch their audio.
Right. It was just like a complete coincidence that it happened at the same time. I clicked on there.
I don't know. You may have pressed the magic eject button.
Anyway, while they're gone, shall we talk about what's happened this week in your reselling life?
Yeah, let's do that.
Have you picked up anything decent? Have you had any complaints? All that sort of stuff. Anything happen? Or has it just been selling usual stuff? Oh, they're back. There we go.
Thank you.
Right.
So, Nick, how's your week been? Has it been okay?
Yeah, had some pretty good sales. Super erratic, like £300 day and then a zero, that sort of rubbish going on.
Yeah.
But, I did sell a set of 4 bowls for 100 quid today that were only listed 2 days ago. That was nice.
For 100, that's a good price.
Yeah,
did they have like a bag and everything with them?
No, just the bowls, but they were Allmark. Allmark are a brand that seemed to do really well. So yeah, I can't complain for the level of effort I'm putting in. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? Getting £100 out. I know Peter Ray really knows his bowls because he plays the odd bit of bowls.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I've played a bit as well because my dad's he's president of a bowls club. Tries to get me involved.
My father-in-law used to play a bit, but I think I've sold a few sets of bowls, and if you can get a nice looking set of bowls, you are sort of like guaranteed 70 plus on them. But Pete really he does know his stuff, so yeah.
Well, with just quickly with bowls, it's worth looking up and remembering a few brands. There's a handful of brands that can go really well, but newer is better than older generally. A couple of exceptions, but if they are in date, because bowls are kind of tested and they've got a date on them, Google it, it's easy to work out. But the more recent they are, generally they're going to be worth more.
Yeah, because
the older ones you can struggle with sometimes.
Yeah, if they're going to be used in competition, the buyer's got to spend £30 or £40 having them calibrated, haven't they? And
yeah, you can get old ones recalibrated and stamped again.
Yeah,
but it's not like you say. You have to get them sent away, and it's done professionally, isn't it? So
yeah.
So Leanne is saying it's really nice to see Fate and Simon on. I don't know what's going on with your name tonight. No. Everyone's spelling it incorrectly. But Leanne did actually put in a request to get you on some weeks back. So she's going to watch back because she's busy tonight. So. I'll wind her off that typo. So, Faye and Simon, how's your week been? Got any good pickups? Got any, decent sales? eBay nightmares?
eBay nightmares.
I love to hear an eBay nightmare.
Yeah, we a few weeks back we got for free a child's car seat, brand new, with a sign on it that said "Never been used. Please take me." So we did that. And listed it for about £70, a Minnie Mouse something or other. It sold, and then the customer realised that it was rear-facing or front-facing or whichever one it was. They didn't want it, so cancelled. Then 3 days ago, it sold again. No payment.
It's cursed. It's cursed. Yeah. You do get items like that.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's definitely cursed. But we had yesterday. We sold on every platform. So Etsy, Depop, Vinted, eBay, Amazon. So that was a really good day.
God. Wow. That's a full house.
Yeah.
I'm there with labels all over my fingers, trying to put them on the right parcels, So
that was a good day. Just doing our thing, trying to keep listing. But the sales are up and down, really up and down. Yeah. Have we been sourcing this week?
Other than what I did today, no. I was sort of sourcing wholesale for Amazon, so no, not sourcing for eBay. Although we have got a pile of stuff in the dining room awaiting a haul video. So I kind of insist that we don't touch it until we've done the haul video, and it can sometimes sit there for a week or two.
Got to get it filmed. I make that mistake of bring it.
Bad business.
I get a load of stuff and I bring it into the house, sort of think, I've got to show it, got to, film it, and then I'll put it away, and it just stays in a big pile for about 3 days, and Liz is going,
this is going on 3 weeks.
Can you move that big pile of tat? It's right in the way, but there you go.
Saying that, it's next to the lawnmower.
In the dining room.
Our lawnmower broke down, so
in the dining room.
And that's sitting in the dining room in its box.
Who doesn't have a lawnmower in their dining room?
I'm doing no mow June.
Yeah,
I think
we're going to struggle with it in the dining room.
No, it's eBay sort of ticking over. We haven't had any humdingers in terms of customers. Although someone today did buy a John Lewis fitted sheet that we got at a kilo sale, brand new in its packaging, but somehow they deciphered from something on the label that it's 10 years old. So they sent a message saying, "Oh, it's 10 years old. Is it discoloured or anything?" And I replied and said, "Well, it hasn't been removed from its packaging." So I don't know. And then in the meantime, they ordered it. I posted it, and they were still messaging saying, "Can you just answer the question? I see you've now posted it." I'm like, "I don't know. It's not been removed from its packaging. I don't know."
Well, that sounds like fun waiting to happen.
Yeah. So that could be something for the future.
We shall see. How's your week been, Derek? Any stuff going on up in Scotland?
Yeah, been pretty good on eBay, really. I've got a few problems with couriers, like probably like anybody, Every and Yodel. So all my Yodel stuffs, that's all at the depot.
Nodal.
It hasn't moved. And there's roadworks outside my Hermes shop, and they haven't collected from the shop in 2 days. So.
Hasn't Yodel had some sort of cyber incident?
Yeah, I think they got hacked or something.
Out of all the couriers, all couriers have some issues, right? But out of all the couriers, Yodel are by far, in my opinion, just so far ahead, as in worst of the bunch.
I thought you loved them.
Particularly when you handwrite your labels.
They couldn't even find my house to do a pickup twice in a row. And it's not like we're an obscure house here.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used Yodel, or maybe once. I tend to stick to... I used to use Hermes all the time, and now I just use UPS and Royal Mail.
We UPS and Royal Mail.
UPS.
Yeah.
Yes.
We love our UPS guy, don't we?
Royal Mail's parcel prices are now super competitive with everyone else.
Really good.
So I'm kind of going Royal Mail on everything. I did an 8-kilo Royal Mail parcel today, second class, through my account, and it was bang on the money. So yeah, loving that. They've tweaked a lot of their higher end prices.
Oh, you got it all
down. There you go.
Written all down. Yeah, it's ridiculous because it used to be like £8 plus, you know, and you just used to think, well, yeah, I'm not going near, you know, £2 more than the Hermes or whatever it was.
I think
now you just think
quite good if you can, like yourself, Nick, you've got a bag that you can take in, and it's all processed, and I think they scan it later, don't they? Or they just scan the bag.
Yep.
If I go in my post office with like 20 parcels, the old lady at the counter will start moaning at me, and I'll hold up the rest of the queue. It's like really sort of old hat.
Yeah, get yourself an account, turn up with a bag, and drop it. That's it.
So I've never done that because I've been using Hermes all the time, but I might have to revisit it.
So Cass had a complaint because she sent the wrong Lego. The guy wanted a particular place. Some of these Lego buyers can be really, really fussy. Oh, it looks like she sorted it out though. So nice guys do. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I had a guy, and he bought something, and he found a problem with it, and he was going to fix it. You know, it involved soldering or something, and he was absolutely fine with it. And you know, we agreed. I think I gave him a little bit of money back, and it was for a massive keyboard as well, and I just did not want it back. So I was like pleased that kind of stuck with him. So that's good. Anyway, we are here to talk about Amazon, which I think is something all of us have done. I don't know if all of us are currently doing it now or as much as we used to. For me, I think it used to be about 40% of what I do in terms of reselling, and it's probably less. Well, it's probably less than 10%, 5 to 10% now. But I think, Faye, Simon, you still do loads and loads of Amazon, don't you? Can you give us an idea of, you know, what you said you do? Yeah. All of those platforms that you sell on. You'd be interested to sort of like start off as to how much you do on Amazon, how much you do on Etsy, how much you do on eBay, just roughly in terms of.
Well, I think like most resellers, you sort of go in and out of different platforms. So I know, Nick, I think you've pretty much said you've given up with it, and I'm not sure. I think Peter, you sort of got back into it a little bit.
Well, a little bit of because I used to be FBA, really getting into this, really want it to happen. So, you know, maybe 3 years ago, it was 2 or 3 boxes a month, and it built up, and then over quarter 4, I try to go mad or try to. Yeah. But now it's just FBM. I mean, I don't really FBA. If anyone's watching, don't know what it is. FBM is when you list it and you keep it at home. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. You've kept at it, haven't you?
Well, yeah. So for us,
never stop.
No. It does go in fits and spurts. So when in March 2020, when sort of things changed, we jumped on the bandwagon of quite it wasn't a what's the word, like a
so no, give me a clue.
Like toilet roll.
Oh, right, yeah.
A necessity.
Yeah.
But it was related to
The pandemic.
I don't know if we can say that. We won't say the word.
You can say it, I think.
But and that sort of got us flying again. And then with all the time that we had, I suppose, because your patterns changed. We weren't going outsourcing around charity shops and all that. We bought a pallet of books, and we got into jigsaw puzzles, and we had kids in the village counting jigsaw puzzles for us, and we were sending all those in time. Yeah. Oh no, it was just for lemonade. And
wow.
then you sent them down the mines.
Yeah. And that sort of got us kind of rocking and rolling again. I mean, without going back too far, I was doing Amazon for years and years and years. But then we and we were buying a lot from auction at the same time, because there was just loads of stuff coming up because everyone was needing to move their stock on. So we were buying a lot of clothes at auction. So we were kind of flying on both. And then over the last few months, we sort of, I'd say over the last 12 months, we kind of died down a little bit on Amazon and tried to focus more on eBay.
Yeah.
But again, that has now changed because we're just finding the traffic's not there on eBay at the moment. So now we're focusing more on Amazon. So at the moment, to answer your question, we're about, sort of in terms of our last 30 days, we're about 70% Amazon, 25% eBay, and 5% Etsy, Depop, and Vinted, something like that.
So, I mean, do you have for your eBay, do you have a sort of a rough number of things that you're listing on there? Do you have a kind of, would you like to get like a certain number of boxes up to Amazon? Is it FBA or is it FBM or is it a mix?
Yeah,
it's FBA.
Always FBA.
The plan is to get as with eBay, I know like a lot of people have they have to list 5 a day or 10 a day. They set themselves a goal. We don't do that. We've never done that, and just because we haven't. There's stuff that needs listing and it just needs to get listed, and that's what I do really, unless Simon picks up some stuff that I just don't want to touch, all of that chap made, all those figures that are lying around somewhere, all these little soldiers, I have no idea. So I left that to him. But then when it comes to things like Playmobil, he can't build them, so I have to do it. He just cannot build a Playmobil.
Well, they are for like 8-year-olds or something. I can understand.
That's what the blokes do.
I haven't got the patience. That and IKEA furniture, I just can't.
I'm with you though. Playmobil's a head scratcher. It really is, isn't it? It's complicated stuff.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to make you feel better.
So with eBay, it's just there's always stuff that needs listing, and if there's 8 hours in a day, and that's what I'm doing, I'll just keep on doing it. Just keep on listing. So I mean, last year, the year before, we had over 1,000 listings, didn't we? Now
we were at 1,500.
We're not even at 600, and that's not through want of trying, but it's just, I mean, we cross-list everything. So everything that's on Amazon gets cross-listed to eBay via
that's a good thing. We discussed this before. If you're struggling to keep your listing numbers up, that's always a good thing, unless it's just through lack of listing. But
I'm not seeing much
selling. Fantastic.
We've just always got stuff to list, haven't we?
Yeah. So the cross lister we use from Amazon to eBay, it'll just send everything over to eBay. So,
what's the cross lister called?
It's called Joe Lister. It's pretty well known. It's not the not the least expensive on the market, but I think it's good. So you just give it a rule price wise. It calculates all of the fees that Amazon are going to charge you, whether you're FBA or FBM. It knows all the fees that you're going to get charged for making that sale, and when you hit list, it will set the price on eBay. Sorry, someone had a can of Coke.
That's a can of lager, isn't
it? When you hit list, it'll price to match your profit. So you don't need to put your cost in if it doesn't matter.
So it may well give a different price because if the fees are different.
Yeah, so it could, if you've got it on Amazon at $29.99, it might list it on eBay for $28.99, knowing the fees that Amazon will charge you and what you're charging postage and your postage costs. So what we do, therefore, is set it quite a significant percent lower. So stuff will get listed on eBay quite a lot lower, and then charge postage on top, because we're not going for top rate seller plus on those products, because Amazon fulfilling the sales. So when a board game sells on eBay, Amazon fulfill it to the eBay customer.
I was just about to ask that, because you said everything's FBA, but if you're sending it all in and you cross-listed it to eBay, how does that work?
So the software creates what's called a multi-channel fulfillment order, which is just basically placing an order into the fulfillment center and shipping it to your customer.
Right.
And Amazon today actually have just introduced blank box for their multi-channel fulfillment in the UK. It's already existed in the States. So now, instead of it arriving to your eBay customer in Amazon packaging, it'll arrive in blank box packaging, which we get quite a lot of questions about that, about whether that has ever caused an issue before. People ordering on eBay. Nobody has ever mentioned it.
We just get good reviews saying, wow, that arrived so quick.
Yeah. I wonder if people think you're drop shipping somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, the seller on record's the same, so it's the same, it's our name. And people do think we get comments and questions, is this drop shipping? And it's not, because it's our stock. It's no different to using Habu or any other fulfillment center, James and James, or any of the others. But what it does mean is that if we're constantly putting stock into Amazon, and we're not listing on eBay that day, I can just go onto Joe Lister and say send. And if we've had stock that's arrived with Amazon recently that hasn't been cross-listed yet, I can just tick 5, 10, however many I want, and cross-list them. So therefore, our eBay account is kind of always active. In that way, you can do it on holiday. It's a bit like having drafts and letting them go, which a lot of people obviously do.
Is other platforms as well, or is it just eBay and Amazon?
Joe Lister is just it was just Amazon to eBay, but they've now incorporated Shopify. So if you've got a Shopify shop, you can have all your Amazon stock cross-listed there, and again, Amazon will ship your sales. So whether you're doing private label or doing charity shop sourcing or retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, whatever it is, it works well. And we get probably, I don't know, 10 to 15, 20% maybe of our eBay orders are Joe Lister orders, and we don't have to do a thing for them.
But you're still doing manual listing on eBay that's exclusively for eBay, then, with clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah, because we kind of we source together a lot, but we source different things. So like when it comes to clothes, I'll list those. Probably like maybe you and Andrea, I don't know if she mainly does the clothes, but I mainly do the clothes. You always do the board games and the jigsaws. I never bother with those because we
and the DVDs.
So, and then like bric-a-brac and things like that I end up with. So it's kind of cut down the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you naturally end up with your kind of comfort zones, don't you? And it works that way. You kind of have your areas in the business, and that's how we do it.
It sort of falls into place, doesn't it, really?
Well, Simon doesn't know a dress from a skirt, so it's just easier.
Me too. I hate clothing, and listing it does my head in.
Yeah.
So in terms of like sending stuff up to Amazon,
there's that echo.
There's a little bit of an echo.
Hang on 1 second. Can I just do a shout out?
You can.
Hi, Ben. Hi.
All done.
Go on then.
Who's Ben?
Our nephew. He put a comment on.
Hello, Ben. How you doing? So, I mean, it sounds like you do a hell of a lot of stuff going up to Amazon. How many sort of boxes are you sending a week? Just roughly.
In the last fortnight, we've probably sent 20 boxes.
Wow.
And we do the full 15 kilos each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been we've we've sort of been particularly busy. Usually I'm happy if it's a box a week, which doesn't sound like much. 15 kilos is 15 board games or 10 board games and 20 DVDs or something like that.
That was the part I used to really enjoy, was doing the 15 kilo boxes and you just kiss it goodbye and that's the end of it, right? But
and kind of out of that, I mean, do you do retail arbitrage at all? Because when I was doing Amazon, it was mainly sort of like, if I got board games, a lot of that would go, or toys, the odd product which you might be discounted somewhere. But I was trying to do lots of retail arbitrage. So have you done any of that, or is it mainly?
We don't tend to do much retail arbitrage because we found, like, if we popped into Sainsbury's or Asda doing our shopping and then we found like the clearance section, it's the same clearance stuff in every Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and those listings are just full of everyone doing the same thing. So we kind of don't even bother looking at those anymore, do we?
No. Boots clearance
is a good one.
Was always good.
Simon just said, no, I'm not going in Boots today. No. And
I used to go in Mothercare quite a lot. That used to be quite good.
Okay.
All their clearance stuff. But have you ever used any sort of like software, FBA software? Because I got, I think it was FBA Wizard or something like that for 3 months, but just didn't get on with it at all.
We had Tactical Arbitrage for about 18 months that we were paying for every month, and we didn't touch it.
We were so excited about getting it as well because we were on a waiting list, and we were away on our honeymoon, and we got an email saying, "Yeah, you're through. You can, like, it's your turn to sign up." We were like, "Woo, high five!" And then,
I think we had a go for a couple of days, and we were running, for anyone that doesn't know, Tactical Arbitrage, what it does is it scans retailers, high streets, websites, so anything from your big high street chains down to independents, anything that's on their system, it scans through and compares the price that is available for sale from those high street shops or websites. And it looks at that product on Amazon, and it works out if there's a margin for you to go and buy it and to sell it. And what we found was we'd stick a scan on. So we'd choose a like Boots, for example, choose a category like I don't know, toothpaste or whatever it might be, and then you leave it running overnight, and it'd come back with a few results, which really needed kind of a lot of manual checking, because when we were doing it, it's kind of the height of everybody on Amazon creating bundles. So instead of selling, you'd have your standard listing for one Colgate toothpaste, and then people had created like 2s and 3s and 4s, and software had trouble differentiating it. And that, I think probably that was one of the main reasons that I didn't get on with it. There was too much sorting, and it's probably improved now.
I think what put me off was the fact that when you were looking at an ROI that was sort of half decent, it was always around the 30 or 40% mark. If you could get that, it was like deemed really good. And I was like, that's nothing really. The volume you've got to achieve to actually make good profit out of that.
Sorry.
And that's why I kind of thought, well, I'll stick to what I know and doing eBay and aiming for like 100%, 200%, up to 1,000% ROI.
Yeah, it really felt to me. I was going to quickly say, it really felt to me that the buying up stuff in supermarkets, high street, and that it had its day when you could make some serious money, and then with all of these apps, people really promoting how to do it, it was one of those things where suddenly it switched and it became so competitive. Lots of people like myself who was doing it a bit hit and miss here and there. I just stopped because there was just almost no point. Unless I was buying at auction and it was a random clearance line or pallet of something, then that worked.
Scotch tape.
Sorry?
Scotch tape.
Oh, that. Yeah, that. Well, I made more money on the video than I did the tape with that.
We that is the, you're absolutely right, Nick, because now people are looking for, they're playing the volume game when it comes to that strategy, RA and OA, and they're willing to take 5-10%. They're willing to make 20p out of a pound, you know, and when you've been on eBay and picking up, you know, a set of bowls for a few quid and selling them for, so, you know, when you
that's
get
more fun.
Yeah, it's more fun, and the margins are way better. It's
and the key for me with it was it's way less risk. So my risk on those bowls was 20 quid, right? Yeah. If I was buying if I was going into RA, I'd buy the lot. I never did it half-heartedly, so I would clear the shelf of whatever, and that might be 200 quid invested. And if somebody else jumps on that Amazon listing, you only need one person to go silly and drop the price by 10 quid, and then you've either got to sell down here or wait 6 months. You know, it was such a cutthroat thing for me, and I was getting stressed with it. So and then when COVID hit, I couldn't source as I was. So I just dumped the whole Amazon thing, and I'm quite happy I did, actually.
That's basically why I don't do RA either. Same sort of reason. There's so much profit to be made off the cheap second tats, and then you can sell it much higher.
Yeah. I think the difference really now is you've got to look at why you're reselling and what your goals are, and if you with buying and selling on eBay, you're very much sort of on a merry-go-round, and it doesn't keep going. If you sort of stop sourcing, it'll just grind to a halt if you stop that process. Now with selling on Amazon, it's a little bit more passive once you fire a load of stock in, and so it kind of depends probably how much time you've got, how much time you want to spend on reselling, how much of a risk is too big a risk, and that's really what pulls people sort of to and from Amazon versus eBay, I think, because you can definitely scale on Amazon if you are willing, if you've got a couple of K sitting around and you're willing to invest that and not touch it and just keep growing that. I think it's a really, really good strategy and a really, really good model.
But ultimately, I totally agree. The word I was going to use, which is scale. Amazon FBA is scalable to some degree, way more easier than eBay is.
Yeah.
But you're also talking bigger numbers, and you'll get straight into the VAT, and it's a different thing than this. What I'm happy to do now.
Yes. Yeah. No. Who
was that?
That was
Derek.
me.
Oh, well done, Derek.
What was it?
It's not very exciting. It's a BT spare phone handset. Not bad price though, £15.
No, not bad.
Must be a
can't complain. So, I mean, it seems like you're putting a hell of a lot of stuff in. Tell us about sort of like your sourcing and how you go about your sourcing. Tell us where you go, when you go there, and what you buy, and how much you buy it for. No, just give us a general kind of flavour of the amount of time and effort that you put into sourcing. Obviously, you can't sort of give too much.
Well, I put more time and effort in, and Simon's quite lazy, actually.
Is it every single day you'll have a nose wherever you are? Do you have places you return to, or?
I think there's two ways of doing Amazon. There's the charity shop sort of boot sale aspect side of it, where for us that's DVDs, board games. Jigsaws, homeware.
That's what I used to do, with the odd bit of RA, maybe sort of 20% RA. But for me, that kind of ended with, you've actually seen my charity shops. Faye and Simon came down a few months ago, and I said, please go to my charity shop and just, so I can sense check that it's not me who's going mad. And
they were pretty bad.
They were bad. They always have been. But so you still do the charity shops?
Yeah, so that's kind of the fun part.
Yeah, we really enjoy that. But I don't think we've been. Oh, we went sourcing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we did go sourcing on Saturday.
And the other side of it, which we got big into in March 2020, is wholesale and bundling. So actually creating your own bundles and creating your own listings on Amazon, which when it comes to selling on Amazon, a lot of people don't go near, particularly.
Do you have to be sort of quite imaginative, or is it just sort of like sticking a load of chocolate bars together and?
Yeah.
But actually, it can be.
It can be as simple as that. You can find in-demand products, bung them together. Often,
I'm just trying to think of bundles. You know, like would it be like a new baby kit or something like that? So you've got
even simpler than that. You could take passata and pasta, put them in a box,
stick them together, and what have you got?
And flog them off, and that sort of thing in March 2020
and custard
was huge.
Been there, done that.
Yes. Faye Bentos pies. Been there, done that.
Yeah, we sold Faye Bentos pies to the Highlands and Islands of Scotland in lockdown for a lot of money. But Simon's kind of requested that we steer clear of grocery. You've kind of fallen out of love with grocery, haven't you?
Well, it just amazes me that people would buy it on Amazon. You know, you could, I'm going to go down to my local cheap shop and buy a Faye Bentos or a tin of Spam, and or a Marmite or something, and someone's going to pay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's becoming all the rage. Though there's loads of apps coming up in and around London now where you can order a banana delivered to your door.
Yeah. £3.50 delivery.
You know, I need a bunch of grapes now. I need it in an hour. It's like
it's the culture, isn't it?
Utter lunacy.
I really enjoyed doing the grocery side of things, and I sort of joked to Simon that I could sell anything on Amazon, like if I create a good listing for it. But before we even got together, years and years and years, when I was sort of 18, I was selling grocery on eBay myself, just like abroad.
On the same account that we use.
Yeah, on the same account I use now. Yeah, so like sachets of jelly and custard to people in Australia and Canada, and I was just going to Tesco's every time I got an order and posting it out. But in lockdown,
there's a great international market on sweets and certain brands and stuff like Marmite and all that, isn't there?
Yeah, really and gravy, like things for your roast dinner, all that sort of stuff. But in lockdown, I was queuing up for ages in the post office, and it was in like a sort of happy shopper type shop. So I'd be like queuing around the aisles, and I was just scanning things, and I'd post my post, then go to the counter and buy loads of their stuff, take them home, bundle them, and then take them back and post them at their post office. So I was doing it with crisps and everything.
Yeah,
it sounds awful, but I mean, if you're making money out of it, then you know, and no one else.
If you've got an eye for that sort of thing, and you've got that constant looking for the next thing, it's amazing what you can create in it.
It's very easy to walk into for anyone that's sort of thinking about it, because this is kind of why we're excited on coming on tonight and talking about Amazon, because there's a lot of talk at the moment about traffic on eBay, and we've always been advocates for trying new things, which sometimes we've been slow to do ourselves, like cross-listing and using other platforms. But you know, for anyone that's thought about or thinking about selling on Amazon and sort of thinking it's a big scary place, just get your account open and start thinking about it, because you know it is the future and anything is possible. You can walk into B&M, find 3 candles, put them in a box together and sell them on Amazon and make good money. It is kind of as easy as that. Obviously you have to go through the process of learning how to create a listing on Amazon, but it's the same but different to doing it on eBay. And
you can do eBay, you can do Amazon.
Yeah,
I think the real art to it is, I mean, actually like preparing the shipment and doing the box and doing all of that sort of stuff it does seem confusing before you've done it, but once you've done it, it's fine. But the real art is finding the product and finding it in quantity and for it to have, you know, the profit margin that's going to be attractive. I think that's what got me in the end, just the kind of like, having done all of those, you know, got that FBA wizard and going through. And it's so hard because I think I was looking at all the usual places. I was trying to look at little niche places, but and I think maybe because I wasn't doing it 100%, you know, I was concentrating on my eBay. I think you do have to give it a certain amount of sort of dedication, especially when you're starting, because otherwise you're just not going to get your head around it.
No, it definitely, the interface, is that the right word for it? Is like dashboard is a lot more confusing. But then people say that the eBay one's confusing. But I guess I've just been using the eBay one for so long, and I will hold my hand up. Simon sort of deals with the boxing up and sending everything in case he gets hit by a bus. He has written it down for me, so I know what to do. But yeah, there is a lot more to click on your Amazon account, and to sort of fall down a hole and think, oh, am I in the right place? Oh no, if I click this, it could all go wrong. It's worded differently, and you feel like you could make more mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, what's been your kind of like, what's the worst thing that's happened to you on Amazon in terms of like either spend and it's all gone, like the price has gone, and what's the best thing that's happened? Give us the highs and lows of it.
Hands down, the worst.
You didn't get 10 million Kinder eggs, did you?
No, there's a couple that spring to mind, but I think one of them, and it's something for everyone to be wary of, really, particularly with Amazon, is when you find a good thing, you do need to know when to get out, because as you keep doubling down, so you place your first order, it sells out. You place your second order, twice as much, it sells out. Third order, twice as much again, sells out. Fourth order, all of a sudden the market's flooded and you're stuck with thousands of pounds worth of stock. And that happened to us with the March 2020, as I keep calling it, product, because we got onto it very, very quickly. We sold.
What was that?
Was that toilet?
Yeah, sure.
Hand cleanser?
It was. No, it wasn't that.
It was a roll of tape.
It was 2 meter. Please keep 2 meter distance tape.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Cool.
And it was from a supplier that probably 50% of the viewers will have heard of. It was from Kite Packaging. Or was it Roger Pat?
Kite Packaging.
Kite Packaging. It just came up on an email, a new in, and let's look at this, and let's go. We sold a couple of boxes, and they sold like we pay.
Oh, we're losing you.
Oh, was that us?
A little bit.
You're breaking up completely.
Really?
Hang on.
Yeah, there we go. You're back, I think.
It's working now.
So we were paying a couple of pounds a roll. It was on hand with Kite Packaging, and when we first listed it, we were selling on eBay first for £15 a roll, and it was flying out. And then we created a listing on Amazon and did FBA, and it was flying out £15 a roll, and we were buying more and more, and the cost price was going down until there was no more in the UK. And it was like, we're getting a big shipment in a month. Do you want some? And we were like, okay, we'll have 4,000 rolls, please. And by the time it arrived, it was late. And by the time it arrived, and we were on pro forma invoice, no, we were on 30-day credit with them. When the stock arrived, everybody had it. It was available from China. It was if we'd have been given a couple more weeks to make the decision, we wouldn't have bought it. But it was just, we got caught out on the timing. So when we ordered it and when it was good to go, everything was breezy. And then the market got absolutely flooded, and it took us, the last sort of few hundred rolls went out at cost, which wasn't costing us a little, wasn't the end of the world.
At least that's something. So I mean,
yeah,
overall,
we've all had to do that though, cash in the last lot, just to claw that bit of investment back.
Overall, you've done very well out of it then.
Yeah, we did initially, but we sort of got sucker punched a bit, and it sort of took the fun out of it, because we had boxes in the bar,
and that was all FBA. So
yeah,
just the hassle is getting it up to Amazon. But once it's up there, and I suppose you at least so you got like, would say 4,000 rolls at what, £2 each, or was it cheaper than that? So
yeah, it was about.
Are you at one point?
I think it turned out to be.
At one point, you might be thinking, "Oh, we might be losing like $7,000 or something," but at least you didn't, and you had all the profit from when you were selling it at £15 a roll. So too bad, really, is it?
Yeah, we made a decent amount for sure. It just, unfortunately, the volume that we had at the time we had it just then sort of, we were tripping over it, and it was just starting to get a bit annoying, more than anything. And we started bundling it and doing we put it back on eBay, and we were doing multi-discount, 50% off when you buy 2 and all this crazy stuff. And it did eventually go, but it definitely dragged on for 6 months longer than it should have. And actually it was I think it was the day after we confirmed the order was when they changed the 2 meter rule to about a meter. Just be mindful of other people. The legislation or whatever you call it just went overnight.
Yeah.
When
that is a real classic example of something that has a lifespan, isn't it? Because it was totally COVID based and really kind of high risk when you think back. So that you wouldn't have known how long that restriction was in place for or anything. So you did well to make the money you did and get out without losing much, I think.
I mean, are you kind of thinking like that all the time? If something happens or something happens in the news or something happens that affects everyone, is your kind of first thought, what could sell on Amazon, as a result of something happening? Or
I think you more than me, probably.
Yeah. I think I
don't think that would have occurred to me at all, which is probably why you do it and I don't.
With that particular world issue, the websites came down hard on people profiteering from particular products. So you sort of almost had to try and get it out of your head because it was almost too easy, and because.
Well, there would have been. I think there would have been a difference if you'd have been, you saw all those pictures of people in Tesco's with loads of toilet roll and just getting sort of that sort of product is totally different, isn't it? So
I think since then,
I tried to sell masks purely because we had so many masks. We were buying bundles of clothes from the auction, and there used to be like bundles of masks in there. So I was trying to sell them. We couldn't.
Yeah, you just weren't allowed to sell them. But I think
they did pull some products, didn't they? There were certain products you couldn't sell. You couldn't sell certain things. Yeah.
I think sort of since all that happened, we try and avoid sort of seasonal stuff. So I suppose that's sort of the closest we get. I mean, we don't sort of look at. I mean, talking about reselling generally, there's huge business to be had in printing mugs of something that someone tweeted yesterday that went viral. And next slide, please, and all that sort of stuff just went huge. And if you got it quick, you could make money. But
I'm not tuned into that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're not quickly reactive. We don't work hard enough for that, to be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, I think that model makes sense if you're doing print on demand because you're not investing in stock.
Yeah,
and there's a whole world. If you're entrepreneurial enough to keep ahead of the trends, you could do a business with zero stock, and that really excites me. I'm just not. My brain doesn't work that way. I think I'm too old school.
Yeah. I
think you got to be on TikTok to know what's going on, and I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of people make good money out of just waiting with bated breath to what Elon Musk's going to tweet next and trying to sort of get an angle on that. Or, and I think one of the opportunities in that area, printables, is things that can't be trademarked, like Donald Trump, for example. I hate to bring him up, but not getting political. But things that simply can't be trademarked, say like a country or a pet or an animal or that's kind of where people make the money without infringing. So I can't remember where we were. We were abroad somewhere and we walked into a shop and they had everything you could think of with Donald Trump's face on it.
We were in Tallinn in Estonia and it was like a Donald Trump shop.
It was insane, and it's purely just cashing in. And obviously that Faye, that lasted quite a while, I guess. But obviously they can come and go a lot quicker than that.
But your question, you said about like a couple of things that sort of negatively impact our Amazon experience. We wanted to say about how we got suspended, didn't we?
Yeah,
we got suspended.
We got suspended. Yeah.
For how long and why?
A month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a month. It was purely.
Whose fault was it out of you two? Who did it? Yeah, I thought it was me.
No.
It was you.
Well, hang on.
It was.
Hang
You
on a
pressed the
minute.
button.
I pressed the button.
Right.
Well, the story was that we'd noticed that. So we moved house 3 years ago, and we noticed that our address had defaulted back to our old address
On Amazon.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
We were like, well, we need to change that. And then this claim your VAT on fees thing came up, where Amazon had been charging VAT on their fees since day one, and because they're based in Luxembourg, they shouldn't be charging VAT on their fees, and you can claim all your VAT back on your fees. So we were like, we should probably do that. In order to do that, we needed all of our address and details to match. And we noticed that they didn't, because our old address seemed to have somehow appeared back on our account. So we were trying to change that. I said to Faye, we were going to do it at Christmas, and I said, let's not do it. Let's not do it in December, because if this does cause an issue, you know. So we left it till, was it March or April?
March, I think.
And sure enough, it triggered an issue. And we then found out that when we registered our business, we registered it twice.
By mistake.
Somehow.
With HMRC.
We had two we had two UTRs. We don't know how it happened.
Not quite unique then.
So the first UTR I'll keep this as brief. The first UTR we'd put in wasn't actually the UTR that we're trading under. And therefore, when we tried to sort of get everything straight with Amazon, they were like, "That's who are you? Basically, who are you? Where's your document?"
So it's all like an admin cock-up,
Yeah.
really. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a dodgy product or
No.
No, and I was dealing with HMRC for about 2 weeks trying to sort
Oh
it
my
out.
god!
And-
Didn't you have something, Nick, where you got done just before Christmas or something?
Yeah,
A few years back?
they asked us a question about how we were registered with HMRC.
Was it the pet that you got
admin thing, and that they wouldn't accept that we were a partnership, not a
partnership?
company.
That's right.
We're trying to sort of explain to them now, because they want a company registration number from us to be able to do this VAT thing, and I'm telling them that no, we can't, we haven't got one, because we're a self-employed partnership. And so I'm trying to get Companies House to send an email to me just saying, no, you don't need one because you're not registered with us. But they won't just write that. They're not helping either. So,
we had to get a person at Amazon to specifically work on our case and speak directly, or get someone at HMRC to speak to that person directly. It was the only way their system would allow this to be solved. And we had our Amazon switched off for in December. It kicked off on my birthday, December the 8th, when we just sent in all of our stuff for Christmas.
No,
and we missed the boat. It cost us thousands and thousands and thousands, because we were
if you'd got
off for a week and 2 weeks, I don't know what it was.
If you'd have got Joe Lister, you could have cross-listed it all to eBay with a touch of a button.
But it was the sort of stuff that, was going to Amazon because that's where it would sell, and the prices were great. I could have done potentially, but yeah. And that was one of the reasons, and others that stacked on top of that made me think.
Was it the straw that broke the camel's back?
Well, that was quite a long time before I eventually jumped. It was some of the crazy returns I was dealing with that made me finally go, you know what, I'm done. I'm done.
I remember you had a Star Wars TIE fighter that had been 2 years after.
It came back. Well, it was over a year after I sold it. It came back in a plastic bag in bits.
Yeah. Nuts.
And I rang him up and I said, "Are you having I made a video about it. It was quite funny.
Yeah, I do.
And the woman was like, "Oh yeah, we shouldn't have accepted that return." I said, "Well, why did you then?" What?
Yeah.
It was, to be honest, I mean, I'm not saying I'll never go back, but I felt so out of control of my Amazon business. And at one point, it was a huge part of our business. I mean, when we had the shop, it was all of our online business was Amazon. But that was before FBA. And it just felt like they could just switch you on and off at will. They could change the goalpost, move the goalposts. They could restrict categories, which they did with media with us. And just remove half of my Amazon business. They removed that overnight. I was done with it. Totally.
Yeah. It's definitely one that you don't have any other option but just to basically bend over and take it. Like you can't if you that is just the way that they want you to operate with
you realize you realize, and it's the same with eBay, let's be honest, but you realize that they are so big, having a chat with them about it isn't going to make any difference. It's just like, no, this is our policy. You deal with it.
It means a lot to you, but it means absolutely nothing to them.
Yeah.
That's why you got to have your fingers in multiple pies.
Well, when we got suspended, I literally took everything. So all of our stock was in FBA. It could still be moved. I could still place a multi-channel. I could still place an order for it. So I had everything cross-listed on eBay, and I just put the prices down because we needed cash coming in from that stock specifically. So unfortunately, the knock-on effect that it had was by the time we got verified and the account back open again, all our good stock was gone. Sold on eBay for probably half the value that it would have got on Amazon. And we've had to sort of rebuild it from there, which is which
was a bit of a slog.
It was a bit of a slog.
How many products have you got up at Amazon now? Is it like it must thousands, hundreds?
No, nothing like that. A few hundred.
And you kind of
it sells so quickly,
It sells so quickly, and you're topping up all the time. Yeah.
I will just say about people watching this thinking, "Oh, I'm so scared of Amazon." I would say, do it, try it. Yeah. And what worked so well for me, and the part of it I do miss, was sending up kind of obscure second-hand toys and games. The money I could command at Christmas, particularly on certain board games, certain toys, loose, stuff, and you name it. It was eye-watering.
Yeah,
when compared to eBay, very seasonal for me that was, but that I miss.
Yeah, where all the signs are there on Amazon for a product that's going to sell. It could be a like you say, a vintage used game or a rare used game, and you look at the listing and think, oh, it's got reviews and it's got a rank. So there's definitely sales history there. You can, there's things that you can sell on Amazon for £100 that you'll struggle to get maybe £30 or £40 for on eBay. And what we found when we had to cross-list everything over to eBay because we couldn't sell it on Amazon, we were struggling to get £20 or even £10 for a brand new and sealed item on eBay that we could easily overnight get 24 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that really is the draw with Amazon, is that you really can command higher prices, and it is worth trying.
So, but saying that, do you do much sourcing from eBay to sell on? I know a lot of sell onto Amazon. I know a lot of people.
I did a couple of years ago. I was buying jigsaws
a little bit
online on eBay. I was buying jigsaws on Amazon and sending them back into Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon times. You have to be a bit careful with that one, though, don't you?
You can't use your Prime account and that sort of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to look out for. I don't go looking for stuff like that.
It's normally when you're out and about sourcing, that's when you're getting your stuff from Amazon.
If I'm brushing my teeth, I might have a really great idea when I'm not supposed to be thinking about it because I'm just like brushing my teeth. But yeah, we've sort of been there and done that. I don't know where we are in our Amazon journey.
eBay to Amazon.
Yeah. It's Amazon journey is all weird, isn't it? Yeah,
we did a whole load of bundling 2 years ago, where examples like I gave earlier with passata and pasta. We actually did that, and we did loads of it. We probably had 50 good bundles going, and it was doing really well. But the thing with Amazon is nothing really lasts. You've got to be.
I was going to say, are you constantly changing? I mean, what you did 6 months ago, you're not still doing.
Even if you're private label, a good analogy I can use is way back when I worked for a company, we were selling solar fairy lights, and we did 50 LEDs, 5 meters, or 120 LEDs. 12 meters, and we were importing them from China. They were own brand, we were private label, and they did really well. And basically, our best seller was the 5 meter cheaper ones. They were doing really well, and then we had the more expensive, longer cable. And all that happens over time is the shorter, cheaper ones are priced completely out of the market. They get completely swallowed up by the competition to the point where, because they've started a lower price, by the time the competition have started eating away at you, they're no longer viable. And then your more expensive item becomes your cheaper item. That drops in price. Everything's slowly moving, I don't know which way I'm going on the screen, down in terms of price. And I think for most things, you've probably got 6 months to a year if you get onto a good thing. So you have got to be adapting. The bundles that we made on Amazon, they're still there, they're still selling. But we're not selling them anymore, and they're going for, because we know sort of the cost prices and stuff. And they're going for just silly money that is just not worth our time anymore. But we had our time with those, and we learnt to love them and leave and let them go. And you have to do that with bundling or wholesale or that model. It's not ever going to last. So you got to keep looking.
Right.
It's fascinating to hear you two talk, actually, because and it just shows that there's money to be made everywhere if you're creative enough and have the thought to do it. It's fascinating, it really is.
Thank you.
we have done an hour. I've totally ignored the chat. I'm terrible. I will just highlight a couple of comments. So Dave says you have to be careful on Amazon fulfillment that requests invoices, steal your suppliers, then undercut you and leave you hanging. Won't do Amazon fulfilled ever again. So do you get a sense of what he's saying there? I don't know about steal your suppliers. What is that about? I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things there. So for certain products that are kind of restricted, so they don't just let any Amazon seller sell. Depends on your account, how good your account health is.
Healthy, and how long you've been selling.
So they'll restrict products, and for some sellers, they have to provide an invoice from an authorized distributor of that product. Now,
and this is Amazon asking for the invoice.
So Amazon asks for the invoice. Now, I mean, I get where the tea cakes is coming from. Tea cakes is not female, by the way, Peter.
I know. I assume that when it's Dave.
How can you tell?
I was watching your I was watching.
Well, because
anyway,
I saw that name for about a year in the chat, and I just assumed it was female. And then I heard someone call him Dave.
So the thing about the invoices is that there's huge distributors in the UK who Amazon knows exactly who they are. If Amazon really want to go and buy from them, they'll do it. They don't need to see your invoice to know that. The bigger issue, I think, possibly, which is what Tea Cakes is referring to, might be when you're importing from China. Because that happens where, you do a private label, you found this great little manufacturer in China, you've done all the due diligence, you've got everything tested and checked, and then Amazon, maybe they lose your shipment or a part of your shipment, so you send a few bits and pieces in, and they lose a couple of items, and you say, can I have the money for that, please? You owe me, you've lost a couple of my items. And they say, no problem, send us an invoice to prove that you had that product. You do that, and then of course they've got your supplier details, and they may then it's nobody knows whether it happens or not, but then you will find people out there on YouTube, I'm sure, that said Amazon stole my product, and all of a sudden that this thing that they created is all of a sudden an Amazon Basics line. But
it's a dirty world out there.
This is the thing, this is what we mean by
they'd still have to change it if you have the rights over the branding, surely, though.
Or you can sell under your brand. If you've sort of suddenly you're the only person on Amazon selling a 10-pocket rucksack or something, with a built-in umbrella or something, I don't know, you just
great idea.
Let me write that down.
That's the market I want to be in. That's the one.
And a poncho that's like just comes out of inside of the bag.
Very Inspector Gadget.
What else can we add?
I want one.
Yeah. So if you've invented that and then Amazon will find out your supplier, then you could be kind of, concerned. But for me, and obviously I am sympathetic to anyone that's lost money in business due to some that sort of practice. But you really got to just roll with the punches and get onto the next thing.
Yeah,
because if it's not Amazon doing it to you, it'll be another seller.
Yeah, you've always just got to be thinking of the next thing. Just keep moving.
Well, so the reality of the business world at large is if you create a brand new business doing something and it takes off, you'll have all the eyes on you, no matter what it is, and people will copy what you're doing, no matter what it is. And if it is a product on Amazon and it takes off and it's suddenly ranking in the top whatever of any category, it's not going to remain a secret, and people will do a cheaper version at some point.
Oh, there'll be people scaring the top 50 in the ranks of all the categories, going, what can I have? What can I get? You know,
and to be honest,
you can't expect to reap the rewards of a single product forever. It's not going to happen.
And the thing is, it's not really Amazon you got to worry about, because small to medium-sized businesses could do that a lot quicker than Amazon will ever do it. You know, because anything that Amazon sells themselves, you can imagine the rigorous processes and procedures that they're going to have to go through to put that onto market. Whereas me or you could order something off Alibaba and have it for sale on Amazon in a month. Amazon would never do that themselves. It would never happen that quick. So it's not really Amazon. That's to worry about.
Lee's saying, whenever I have something I think will sell well on Amazon, I try to list it, and I'm always gated, and they want wholesalers or distributors invoices. But selling books seems to be fine. I know that if you are gated, it's always put in the request to ungate, and sometimes it's just a tick thing, because that can just come back immediately. I always used to think, oh, you've got to, attach something and but you don't. Sometimes it is as easy as putting in that request. To talk about the invoices thing and how you would approach doing that, because I think I've had that as well, and that's always been a kind of like, okay, I can't do anything with that. How do you deal with that?
Well, say you wanted to sell a Ravensburger jigsaw, and you got that message from Amazon, and that you needed to supply an invoice. You'd have to go direct to Ravensburger by like the criteria that Amazon want you to stick to. So I think, is it like 10 of the same item?
Yeah,
10 of the same item. I mean, the chances are that Ravensburger are going to do that anyway. It's probably, I don't know, but
have you done that? And
yeah, in theory, we've been gated on a brand, and a wholesaler that we use in London sells that brand. So we didn't. So we just went. Let's say it's Hasbro.
Yeah.
We wanted to sell, for example, Connect 4, but we couldn't, and it's not Hasbro. So we just went and bought Hasbro battleships from the distributor to get ungated in Hasbro. So we've then got an invoice showing from an authorized distributor for Hasbro products that we've got that brand, and that ungates you. But the best tip I can advise anyone, because this is a question that we get a lot about being gated, and I want to start Amazon, but it seems like my hands are tied behind my back. It does take a little bit of patience, but there's something called and I'm just going to get technical for 30 seconds, your IPI, which you will find in your seller dashboard, and it stands for Inventory Performance Index. And what that is it scores you on how efficient you are in FBA. So when you send stuff to FBA, how long it sits in their warehouses before you sell it, how active you are as a seller. Are you dropping your prices to get that stock gone? The higher your IPI score is, the more things you will become ungated in. You're proving to Amazon, and it's the specific KPI that they use to judge you as an FBA seller. So if you're sending stuff in and it's selling quick and turning over, and you're not clogging up their warehouses, they'll like you and they'll give you a score.
I think all selling platforms, the stuff moved on. Like the same with eBay, in some respects. If you're putting it on and pricing it high and it's just sitting there, as opposed to sending out offers, reviewing the price. So,
well, they're only making money when you're selling stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we got our IPI to 500, which won't mean anything to most people, but it's just a number on that scale.
Yeah.
It's quite good. But the moment we got to 500, we got ungated in Nike, and we were like high-fiving each other. Oh, we can sell Nike, because we couldn't sell Nike before that on Amazon. Funny story. This was 2 years ago.
Everything was 2 years ago.
So we took the day off to go to a Nike outlet in Wembley.
No, it wasn't. It was Hatfield.
Faye will correct me. Oh yeah, it was Hatfield.
Good old Galleria.
And it turned out that it shut down about 5 years ago. Then we were going to go. Then we were going to go.
How far a drive was that?
So for us, it's about an hour.
What, Hatfield?
Okay, 45 minutes.
What's half an hour?
Okay.
It depends if Faye's driving or not.
Yeah. Not far. Then we put time aside to go to Wembley. We called them up to find out when they're open, and we'd had a particular window we needed to go for because of other commitments. This is when we learnt about Juneteenth, which I don't know if anyone's heard of Juneteenth. It was
Juneteenth on Monday.
It's an American public holiday, celebrating something or other, and a lot of American brands and businesses in the UK close on Juneteenth.
I've never heard of that at all.
No.
Monday this week was Juneteenth.
Yeah, so look it up.
Oh no, it was Sunday. Sorry, Sunday.
So anyway, we never actually have started our Nike journey
in 2 years.
Being quite excited that we could actually sell Nike on Amazon now. We haven't started yet.
No. It's interesting. The IPI has been a really good thing for Zoe and Anthony.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things you were going to mention quickly.
Yeah. Our brother and sister-in-law, Faye's sister and husband, they were general resellers just like us. We sort of got them into it. They were doing clothing and Amazon and eBay and everything else. And it really wasn't kind of working for them because of time, because they've got kids.
Yeah, I think people think that they can copy how someone else works and it worked for them. And that's not always the case. Like, we haven't got kids, but my sister's got 2 kids and another one on the way. And like they couldn't replicate what we were doing. And I think a lot of people see how other people work and think, oh, I can't do that. Or, oh, I can do that. And then realise they can't do that.
Yeah.
And you have to find what fits for you.
Yeah, so they've started down the Amazon journey of online arbitrage and using, like you said, similar to FBA Wizard.
Yeah.
But they kind of joined a program, found a mentor. We'd got them so far, like introduced them to selling on Amazon, so they knew how to do FBA, knew all that. But now they've gone into the sort of wholesale model, basically. And they're just kind of doubling up, aren't they? And doing very well.
They're doing very well. So that is a route to consider if you want to try Amazon, if you haven't tried it, or if you're sort of daunted by sort of the odd thing from a charity shop here and there. It's a great way to do it. It really works.
Just briefly, like before we finish, just explain that in a nutshell, like a wholesale model. What is that?
Yeah, so they
in a nutshell.
Yeah, they had to. I'll do my best. They basically sort of turned their business on its head. So they went completely away and said, we only want to do what we want to sell in volume. We don't want to be going to the post office every day and all that sort of stuff. Our lives are too busy for that. So they use software similar to FBA Wizard, which gives them results on products as they're scanning. So they could walk into a wholesaler in wherever, down in London or anywhere, scan products on the shelves. They'll get a score on their phone, whether it's sort of a viable option for Amazon. They'll then buy 10, test
the water, don't they?
Send them into FBA, send them into Amazon, and then decide whether to replenish. And if they replenish, they just keep doubling, spending their income and all the while looking for more products to do that. And
always being wary of knowing
when to get out.
Jumped on it and
and not putting all their eggs in one basket. They've got like multiple products, so that they might have sent 100 units into FBA today because they've tested something with 10 units and it's worked. So they've gone and they've bought 100, but they're still sitting there looking for more products because they want to have a lot of products that they're sending in all the time.
Because not everything will be a hit. So, you sort of constantly, they're looking for more. So they've started that.
And they're doing well out of that. And had a few sort of bumps in the road, of products.
Touch wood, don't think so. But they've got big plans to scale. They haven't had a massive pot of money to start with either. They've gone at it very carefully and they're just slowly building, and they've got a plan for next year. And it perfectly suits them with 2 children and a baby on the way, and that's something for other people that are maybe in that situation.
Yeah, so many different ways of doing it, like you say.
I think that's the really good takeaway from this video is there's so many ways of doing this. And you know, I think you were right earlier. People watch any of us, for example, and think that's how to do it. And it's just totally not true, is it? There's so many ways of doing it, and you have to make it fit. And that story is perfect.
Yeah.
They found a model that works for them, and it may not work for anybody else. It's certainly not what I want to do.
It's not necessarily what we want to do. We want to do the fun stuff, like go to the charity shops, like you guys go to the car boot, but they just don't have the time because there's kids clubs and all this other stuff in the way. But it just works.
And it is about creating your own way through this because there's so many opportunities. I know I said it earlier, but it's just about trying it all and working out what fills you with joy, what makes you want to get up in the morning and actually do this, because none of it's easy is the other thing.
People think it is, and it really isn't easy.
No.
You've got to work harder than just showing up to an office for someone else, because I've been in jobs where I've just had to show up and just sit there, and this is much harder, and I'd do this any day over just sitting in an office doing nothing.
Well, you do because you love it, don't you? You know, it's I'm exactly the same. I've had jobs where I've sort of like not really had to work that hard, but for some reason I love getting up at like 5 a.m. and walking around the field.
You don't do that though.
I must be that.
No, exactly.
Anyway, we have gone over an hour, but it's been absolutely fascinating. Thanks ever so much for that. I mean, you know, that the information you've got is like invaluable to sort of people wanting to get into Amazon. And I think you've always said, you know, if people got any questions, they can. Is Insta the best sort of way of getting in touch with you?
Yeah, Instagram definitely.
Drop you a message. I have put the links below. I remember to say it this week. I put the links below to all of the channels. So Derek's channel, Nick's channel, and of course Faye and Simon's channel. So do click on those. Drop them a sub if you can. What have you got coming up for the next week? Have you got anything coming up, Faye, Simon? Have you got any plans? Or
I'm waiting for my sister to give birth, so I've got to go look after her kids.
I did get warned it could happen like whilst we were on the stream. That would have been something else.
This week we are.
I'm sourcing tomorrow.
Yeah, Faye's sourcing tomorrow for some wholesale of something that we really desperately want to get hold of. It's kind of the prime time, so we need to be quick.
Yeah.
I am
cutting the grass.
Building
the lawnmower.
Moving the lawnmower out of the front room. That's what you're doing, Simon.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I mean, there is one job that I'm really desperate to get onto, which is just sorting out all the old stuff on eBay and trying to be more like, you know, on Amazon, you can't hold on to stuff for long because you just start charging you and penalizing you for having stock in their warehouses. And I really want to run the eBay business just like that. I don't want things that have been for sale.
I'm doing that. It's funny. I'm doing exactly the same. I want it down to, I don't want anything over 6 months old.
Yeah.
I've picked out all of the stuff that I've started with the stuff that is over 2 years old. So I feel almost ashamed saying it that I have got stuff over 2 years old, but it's all been slowly reduced to about £5, and it's all going on for 99p auction. Going to try that a few times, and if it doesn't go, it's going down the charity shop, you know, and then I'll deal with the stuff a year old, a year or over.
Yeah,
it's got to go.
We did the auction thing, and it was just too disheartening when stuff just sells for 99p plus post. So we're going to bundle stuff.
I don't mind if it's a if it's a sales, you know, metric on my store. I'll be glad to create a sale and get it gone. So I'm okay with that.
What's the oldest thing in your shop, Nick and Derek? Sorry, I know I'm not like hosting or anything. But I did have a question.
No, you just carry on. I'll just have a little dive.
Yeah, have a little tea.
Question.
The oldest thing on your shop
that's been listed the longest?
Yeah.
Not a clue.
Oh.
There you go.
Derek?
I'm not too sure. I've got some old cameras I've had listed for a long time. They're digital cameras. They're like.
Are you waiting?
£3 plus postage or something.
Are you waiting for sort of digital to become, you know, like antique?
But really, I should charity shop them or take them off. But they're already listed. They're in my storage, so I do just leave them. But I am starting to do some auctions because I've reached my buy it now limit on my store again.
Oh wow!
So I've been listing quite a lot. So
how many listings have you got then?
I think it's 1,500 you can have on my current store by it now. So
is that 1,500 a month new listings?
Yeah, it's new ones, but I also sell similar, you see. So I'm constantly taking them on and putting them back on.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a bit more sense.
But when I've got, I think it's 200 auctions, so I'm moving all the rubbishy sort of stuff, the old stuff, over to the auction. So hopefully that might make them go, but I really should just get rid of them. But
yeah, I'm just going to give it.
I don't like to because I've done all the work for it, so it's just waiting for that guy to come along and buy it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's how long you wait. I think I just got to the end of my tether and I needed the space, so it was like I just like to see a whole lot of stuff go. I mean, I think I've done like 35 auctions, and I've scheduled them. I thought I'd scheduled them for last Sunday, but they're actually going this Sunday. I got all my calendar mixed up. But I mean, if they all sell, I'll be in a right old state. I'll be, oh my god, it's like 8 o'clock at night, and I've just sold 30 items.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens. I'd stream it live, but it'll probably end up. I sell 2. I was saying what will probably happen is I'll sell 2, and then they'll go, and I'll get a return on them or something ridiculous on a 99p item. It's always the way. Yeah. Anyway, thanks ever so much. We'll end the stream there. If anybody's got any sort of questions, do stick it in the comments or drop us an Instagram. Drop Faye and Simon on Instagram. They are the Amazon experts. But thanks ever so much for joining us. And next week we are on. Whose channel are we on next week? Is it yours, Nick?
Me. I think we're back to me.
Yeah. Can we come back?
Yes, but I do have a guest lined up that I'm hoping is going to appear. So another time, definitely.
Brilliant.
If anybody does, I have had a request from who was it? Gary Husty's Emporium. I think wanted to come on. So I said to him, well, you're going to have to wait 3 weeks because it's on a 3-week cycle. So maybe let's get him on in a few weeks' time. Anyway, take care, guys.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be here if you need me.
Yes, we'll get you back. We'll get you back.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
See you, everyone. See you next week on Nick's channel. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.